Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Play Civ 5 Brave New World as Portugal. This is following on from the Morocco game. And I'm here with Luquos.
Hello?
Yeah, Luquos is joining me for this one. Blast has, well, time zones happen. So here we go, we're playing Portugal, led by, one of the worst leader choices ever made in Civ.
Maria wasn't great.
Possibly the worst. Even worse when they made up someone.
Who did they make up?
In Civ 2, back when everybody had a male leader and a female leader, they just made one up for the Zulu, so that the Zulu could have a woman.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, there was never a Queen of the Zulu.
True.
The Zulu never had any queens, and part of that is because the Zulu were as a significant political entity, were very short-lived, and are sort of generally only included in Civ because of like pop culture stuff.
I can understand that.
Yeah. It's, they had some, interesting choices. Maria, like I said, is probably even worse than that. Maria, known as also in Brazil, of which she was also queen at the time. Maria the Mad. The Portuguese, they like to put a slightly, nicer spin on it. And they call her Maria the Pious.
Not always a good trait.
You know, it's as charitable as you can get, especially for someone prone to fits of religious mania.
Is that reflected in her AI in Civ 5?
No.
That's a shame.
Yeah, no, she is, Maria is, I mean, her little bio when you start the game up is very whitewashing of it and everything, and it's like, oh, talks about how she laid the way for she laid the way for Brazilian independence by them going, holy shit, this is who's in charge, fuck this.
So the Trump method of independence, then.
Well, if you like, and imagine like California or something breaking away.
Yes.
Because Donald Trump got elected. Yeah, that's kind of... Well, even more so than like Donald Trump. She's like, Donald Trump is ostensibly sane. Donald Trump isn't like literally having to be locked up because of his incoherent screaming for his dead family.
So not someone you'd really want representing your country in a video game.
No, the quote I think the quote from Civ Fanatics at the time was a slap in the face to the entirety of Portuguese history.
Yeah, it's not great.
I mean, mechanically, Portugal is fine. Everything. Portugal is actually quite interesting mechanically and all that, and you know, all this, but yeah. So enough talking about Maria. Here we are on a large fractal map. We are. Oh my god! I've set the difficulty to Emperor. When I've set the game up. I thought, oh, I'll set the game up to record. You know what? No.
That's a massive shame because I'm noticing you have salt as a start there.
Yeah. I set the game up so it was like. Let's just not do that. Now, also, I should, before I do it, because audio options, speech volume. Let's just turn that down, because I don't, if I'm going to load the game, if I'm going to set the game up on camera like this, I am not going to listen to that fucking speech.
Yes.
There is the fact that you have to turn off all speech in the game to disable that. It drives me up the wall.
It's really disappointing because they did a really good job with the vocal clips for most of the leaders.
Oh no, I'll be turning it back on as soon as we get back into the game, but I'm just saying it's a hassle because nobody wants to listen to this every time you load up a game, every time you start a game, everything, having to listen to Morgan Shepherd read out a bio about that. No! Fuck off! Right, okay, so here we are with Portugal. You got the Maraclasm, resource diversity grants twice as much gold for Portugal and trade routes.
Mm-hmm.
So that means trade routes when they have the primary method in which it determines how much gold you make from a trade route is what the different resources are between the cities. For Portugal, that's doubled. Your unique unit is the Now, which is a replacement for the Caravel. Interesting. You got a one-time ability. The farther away from you, and use it by going next to somebody else's borders. The farther away you are from Lisbon when you do it, the more bonuses you get. And then the unique improvement, which is why we're playing Portugal, because we're doing a unique improvements. We're doing a series of all the civs with their unique improvements. Is the Feitoria. About like the Feitoria, which means factory in Portuguese. It doesn't mean like fort or anything. It means factory.
Okay.
It looks like a fort. It's built like a castle, and that's because the Portuguese had like a very exploitative system of setting these up in other places, and they heavily armored them because they knew it would make people mad once they realized how exploitative it was.
Makes sense.
But it literally means factory, and yes, these are fortified outposts that the Portuguese would set up all around the world. So you build it can only build in the city-state lands on a coast without a resource. It gives you one copy of every luxury resource that city-state has hooked up, regardless of your status with that city-state. So you get it even if you are at war. But you can't trade it.
That's really powerful, though.
Also gives the same 50%. Yeah, it's very powerful, and you don't unlock it to navigation.
Okay. So what I'm saying is Portugal's really good at getting a lot of happiness and a lot of money.
Yeah, Portugal. Okay, so here we go, Portugal. And the good thing is, now that we're in the game here, we never have to see Maria again. Since when you're playing as her, you don't have to look at her.
Yes. Not a bad start, though.
Actually, I just need to do one little thing. Maybe a little more.
The wheat's good for growth. The plains is pretty good for production.
Yeah, right. So, yes, this is a fractal map. So it's just, it's basically random, but not completely. So, like Shuffle is. Shuffle randomizes everything. This will, like, Fractal will produce, for example, like, sort of generally, like, reasonable terrain bands and things, whereas Shuffle will randomized.
Does Portugal have a start bias?
What?
Does Portugal have a start bias?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a coastal start bias. And I'm going to build a scout. And I'm going to go for pottery.
Will you be going to the futile effort of trying to get the Great Library in this?
No!
Game?
We've talked about this before on the LP. No, this is immortal. You don't try to build the Great Library. That's stupid.
Fair enough. So
you
what are you thinking?
You will not get it. You will not get it unless you are like playing as Egypt and have a start with 5 salt, and even then it's kind of a toss-up.
The AI advantages are just way too big.
And they love it too much.
Yeah. So you're definitely going to be taking to calendar first, I'm guessing? But after that, what are you thinking?
Right, that's a spearman.
Useful for stopping any early barb attacks.
Yes, it is. Right, let's see now. I'm going to go double scout this game. Oh, Jesus!
What has just happened?
We're one tile off, Lisbon being a canal.
Oh, that's a pain. Hopefully that outcropping isn't too large.
That is legitimately a pain in the ass and something I'd almost consider restarting for. And that's the Rock of Gibraltar. Okay, so that's the end of the landmass anyway.
So the Rock of Gibraltar in an actual workable position.
Oh, the
That's a bit
Rock of
rare.
Gibraltar is in a workable position in most games.
Eh,
And so then the Rock of Gibraltar takes up 2 tiles. It's always next to another mountain. Although
I see.
there has been a lot of there has been known in the past to be a lot of glitchy situations involving that mountain. And only this tile counts as a natural wonder. It's not like the Great Barrier Reef where it counts as 2. But
I was looking through some of the strategies for the Inca, and I found out that a lot of natural wonders actually count as mountains for their terrace farms,
yes, they do.
which is interesting.
That was a lot of natural. Now let's see what kind of start will I go with here.
Is it better to go tall or wide as Portugal normally?
Oh, it doesn't. Yeah. Well, generally, tradition is almost always better. I'm tempted to just maybe mix it up and do something different.
I'm guessing you're going to be pushing for exploration later.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do something a bit different and go for liberty just for a change. It's liberty. Liberty is generally suboptimal, but okay.
Is that because of the really powerful free buildings you get from tradition?
Yeah, well, and the food bonuses and the way Brave New World is balanced. So it's generally you're better off having like only about 4 cities until really late in the game. Brave New World is just balanced around that sort of setup.
That makes sense.
Previous editions of Civ 5 had it balanced like way too heavily in favor of wide, and
Infinite City Sprawl was
Brave New World overcorrected a little.
Okay.
And now since we are since we are going liberty, we need to make sure to actually like build our monuments.
Not something you'd normally.
We can't just get them for free.
Yeah. And aqueducts.
Well, with liberty, aqueducts aren't something you're going to be building everywhere.
That's true.
And there's our first city-state.
Nice and close.
Now, remember, city-states that are completely inland are useless to us, pretty much. The our Feitoria that this series is going to be built around exploiting, can only be built on coastal tiles that don't contain a resource. So in this case, we could build one right here.
Which is very nice, because pearls is quite a rare resource. Who's that you've just met?
We haven't just met anyway. That's William's scout. That's the same scout we ran into before.
Ah, excellent. I would say William's a good partner in this, but without his AI taking advantage of his unique ability.
Yeah. That's another thing we discussed in the past. The Dutch AI does not know how to exploit their own unique ability, and it's a source of particular frustration for me.
Especially when you're going to be going for such a heavy trading game.
Yeah, and now let's get our granary up. Again, we're going liberty, so we don't really need to worry about stealing workers.
Because you get so many free ones if you get the pyramids, and just one free one if you get the social policy. Have you seen any good positions for your second city yet?
Oh yeah, right here.
Okay.
That'll get sugar, fish, the oasis, 2 wheat eventually. Although that one's desert wheat. You get 2 oases. You got sheep here. You got enough hills to make it productive. There's a lot of empty desert, but And even though you do get a free settler from Liberty, I will still be going for... I'll probably still end up building the first settler manually rather than...
It means you can get it out quite a bit quicker. Would you not go for Petra in that second city?
The chances of that city being large enough and successful enough to actually produce Petra would mean it basically being a complete crapshoot.
Makes sense.
Now this spearman, we brought him back. You don't want to ever scout too far with your main military unit. You want to do a bit of scouting with them and then bring them back. Because unless you get some sort of a very unusual map, you are going to get barbs turning up eventually around your capital, and you want to have your unit there. Keep an eye on things.
He who destroys
if those barbarians are capturing workers and things, it sets you back so much.
Yes.
The people of the United States of America welcome you.
Yeah, we can get embassies, people lie. So
It's
that's
a good thing that
Washington,
Washington-
his capital's inland, and then William, he's also got an inland capital. He doesn't have writing yet, so I can't trade embassies. That's odd.
It's a good thing that Washington's quite a long way away from you. It means he won't be stealing your land or attacking you heavily early.
Oh, he might do it anyway. Washington, oh, there's Lake Victoria, that's nice. Let's see, if I settled here, that would be Observatory, Lake Victoria, citrus, floodplains weak. Citrus would count as unique luxury, so that would help for the happiness.
It's a long way out from your first city, but Lake Victoria's worth it.
Oh yeah. So I can't do that. That was another thing I remember reading about. They, several Portuguese players of Civ 6, or Civ 5, Civ 6. That's in 3 months. No, we're also rather annoyed about Portugal's city list.
Oh?
Because it also includes a lot of major cities from Portuguese colonies and stuff. But also they felt that now I don't know an awful lot about Portuguese history, but the city of Guimarães is not included in Portugal's city list in here, and they felt that that was a major omission because Guimarães is where Portugal as a state was founded.
Makes sense that you'd want it as one of the cities, yes.
I think it's. I think perhaps it didn't get included because it's not really. If I remember right, it's not. Let me just check here. I'm just going to bring up Wikipedia here very quickly. While I'm. Wikipedia has redirected me to one of the Portuguese presidents rather than any sort of town. So I think that is pretty indicative of the fact that, yeah, it's not a city anymore, like I was thinking. And I think that's probably why I didn't get included.
I wouldn't know. I know basically nothing about Portugal.
Yeah. So yeah, that maybe somebody watching will correct us. I don't know, but we'll see. Now, right, size 4. That's large enough to warrant building a settler now. That's no barbs.
Do you think America's going to have a problem with all those barbs?
No.
No.
This is immortal. They'll be fine.
Be nice to get those
There goes the
luxury
great
resources.
library.
That was very quick, but again, immortal.
And it didn't play the sound.
Hmm.
That's odd. I'm just going to turn Civ up a little bit. Let's see now. Options. Oh well. Let's see now. Just turn that up a little bit as well. And let's see now. What do I need next? Could go straight to philosophy, could go to sailing, could go to trapping for the furs.
It's a tough choice.
Let's see. Well, if we want to improve that sugar when we put the second city down, we're going to need masonry. So I'll go trapping instead.
Do you have any idea what you're going to go for your Pantheon?
No, I don't. But, well, actually, I do. If it's still around, +1 culture, +1 faith from wine and incense.
Mm-hmm.
That's all Marty. They're militaristic. Again, it's not playing the sound effects. There's a lot of little sound effects that aren't playing. That's odd. They know the secrets of the Tercio. That's the Spanish unique unit. So I know Spain isn't in the game. There's Jerusalem.
Jerusalem has gold. That'll be useful to get your hands on eventually.
Well, everything's useful to get our hands on eventually. Of Portugal, we just take everything.
Almaty appears to be landlocked, though.
Yeah.
So, nothing from them.
Well, Almaty being landlocked is actually very appropriate considering it's in Kazakhstan.
Yes.
I'll probably, in between this episode and the next episode, I will probably restart the game. Just to see if we can't fix the sound effect issues.
It's a good idea. I do quite like all the little music that's played with the city-states and...
Well, I have music turned off
Mm.
to avoid the getting copyright claims on YouTube.
Thou shalt.
There's a lot of nice little touches in Civilization that make it...
Yeah, I honestly, I would like to be playing with the music and everything, but it gets your videos claimed, so...
Yes.
The library now, because we don't have... we can't really get... I was gonna... No, it's gone.
Is
Right,
the following
wine,
trade of interest to you?
horses, you actually... No, I would much rather have the money. Thank you very much.
Is there usually much leeway at this stage of the game for negotiating on trade deals?
No.
Okay.
You don't have much, and the AI doesn't have much.
Makes sense.
Although Washington's trading with somebody, and they're up there. It's not Jerusalem.
Hmm.
It's going past Jerusalem, unless
Yes,
it's
I can see.
curving in there. Hang on. No, it is Jerusalem. Okay. So I thought maybe that would have been evidence that there's another city-state. Why did I move the worker there? That's not going to help. Go back. Right. Now we'll put our second city down here. That's Porto. Which I remember another thing, this is I've learned over the years from Civ Fanatics. That in Civ 4, that city was called Oporto, which had a couple of prominent Portuguese members of the forums quite annoyed. Because they said it's basically like, it's like, why, what the hell? The city is just called Porto. And it would be like putting an A onto the start of London.
Makes sense. It would be rather insulting.
Well, I don't know about insulting, just weird. Like, it is just strange. We'll use our money to buy some tiles.
Yeah, I don't quite see why.
I'm not being very efficient with my worker movements. I've picked a couple of silly. Williams put Rotterdam there, which is
aggressive,
frankly stupid. Rather than putting it 2 tiles down here next to the river. That would have been way more sensible. Putting it up there without being any source of fresh water, it's just stupid. It's literally inferior in every way to putting it next to the river.
But then we are talking about civilization.
Because it's not close enough to be getting those bananas. It's a very dumb city placement. And the AI should know better.
But this is civilization AI. They're not great.
Now, we're already, like, we're doing fine on gold thanks to all our, tire. We're doing fine on gold thanks to all the money we're making. Or thanks to, of course.
The wine.
The wine, yes. The wine piles off a lot of cash. There's Genghis Khan.
Well, it's a good thing he's not right next to you.
No, he's over there, and that's... We also, like, you get my furs. And there's Karakoram over there. Again, that's... probably would have been a better city up here. Possibly, although you would lose out on a salt and a deer. But you would be next to the river and you get better farm bonuses. Considering this is all plains, that would probably have been a lot better for you. But the AI always settles in place. The AI will never, ever move their initial settler.
That's really interesting.
Yes. So I will build now another worker. And I will start then getting... we do need a couple other techs for hooking resources up, but I am now getting sailing so that we can send a sea trade route up to Rotterdam.
And that'll be fairly easy to defend as well because it's so close. One big problem I've noticed when I'm playing my games is it's quite hard to keep track of all my long-range sea trade routes towards the end of the game.
Yes, well that's the trade-off with sea trade routes. They're a lot harder to... They're far more lucrative, but they're a lot harder to protect. That's a deliberate, like, game mechanic.
Yes, and it's a really good decision, I think.
Yes. So this seems to be an inland sea.
Tyre seems like it'll be a very nice place to stick one of your unique buildings.
Unique improvements, it's not a building.
Unique improvement, my mistake.
Yes. It is not an inland sea.
I find it really interesting how in Brave New Worlds they introduced a few civilizations who really changed up the mechanics of how you're generally playing the game. Portugal, Venice.
Portugal doesn't really, but the unique tile improvements I think were definitely sort of a testing the waters for the districts and things in Civ 6. I mean, it definitely comes across like that.
It's clearly worked because what they're doing in Civ 6 looks excellent.
Especially since in Civ 6, France gets their France's unique tile improvement is the same. It's the chateau. It's back.
Yes.
And now although in France's case it is you have to build it adjacent to a river rather than a luxury resource. But
which I think is better.
6 and one half dozen of the other, I'd say.
Hmm.
But it's yeah, it's, you build it adjacent to a river, and it gets extra bonuses if it's next to a wonder.
Speaking of Civ 6, I really like what they've done with Egypt.
Yeah. I probably shouldn't talk too much about Civ 6 here.
That's true. This is a Civ 5 LP.
Ik geloof dat ik iets heb wat
There
u
will
enig
be-
belang
no.
zal inboezemen.
There will be plenty of time in the future for. Okay, well, I call
Hello, Barbarian.
experiments over there. Actually, so what I can do is I can buy myself a warrior. I'm making enough gold per turn to afford a warrior.
Hmm.
Now, something we're probably going to end up doing is we are going to almost, without a doubt, end up going to war with Genghis to have to try and liberate Bogota and Tyre from him. He will almost certainly go and conquer them.
Isn't Cengiz the only AI who will actively go after city-states?
No.
Okay.
Some of the others will do it, but Cengiz is the only one that will do it. I moved the settler.
Oh no. Yep.
I meant to move the warrior. I moved the settler.
Rescue mission for the settler then?
Yeah.
Is that the settler you're going to send over to Lake Victoria, you think?
Very probably, because never mind.
Oh no, Utrecht is
Utrecht
there.
happened. Utrecht not in a bad spot, although again could have been a lot better because it should have been next to a mountain for the observatory. William didn't do that. I'm disappointed. I might fight him for it. That's a really, really, really good city spot.
Mm. How is Maria in terms of fighting wars? Okay.
It doesn't matter. I'm the player.
That's true.
How she is in terms of fighting wars is irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's no other cities there. Right, further hooked up, you can repair that, and then you can go down and pick up the sugar. And you will go here and pick up those sheep. And attack them. And I think I need archery now, and then philosophy.
Just to check, how are we doing on time for the first episode?
Yeah, I'll be wrapping it up. I like to find a sort of natural stopping point for each episode.
Absolutely.
So in our case, the natural stopping point will be now, when we establish our first trade route, and you can see here it's 9 gold per turn, which is quite high. Or we could send it to Antwerp, which is 16, because again, resource diversity.
It's a very big deal.
Now, in our case, we're getting we both of our cities here have wine and wheat and everything. In our case, we have furs. Rotterdam doesn't. That counts as diversity, so it ends up counting as, for an early game trade route, 9's a lot. 16 is phenomenal, and we're yeah.
I would worry about that trade route possibly getting plundered, though.
Okay. See you next time.